Kindly step aside, ma'am. This lounge is for executive guests only. The words sliced through the quiet elegance of the lobby at the Halcyon Boston. Noelle Bryant stood still. A woman with medium brown skin, dressed in a navy blazer and slacks, pearl earrings gently gleaming under the chandelier. She'd flown in from D.C., tired but composed, her reservation confirmed under a platinum-tier account. "I have a reservation," she said calmly, handing over her ID and phone. The young clerk glanced at the screen, then frowned. "I don't see you here. Perhaps you're mistaken?" Behind her, a white couple in designer coats breezed past with champagne flutes. "Security," the manager whispered into his radio, "we've got someone lingering." Noelle's eyes dropped for a moment. On the wall, a photo of her late husband, co-founder of the Halcyon chain, smiled from a golden frame. But what she said next froze the entire lobby. "You're standing on a floor I helped build." "Ma'am, we've asked you nicely. Please don't make this difficult," the manager said, now flanked by a security guard in a black suit. Noelle didn't move, her suitcase still at her side, hands calmly folded over the handle. "She's blocking the check-in line," a guest muttered behind her. Noelle looked up at the clerk. "Try the reservation again. Noelle Bryant, executive suite, top floor." The clerk hesitated. Then, "I already told you, there's no such name." But something in the concierge's expression shifted. The older gentleman standing silently by the elevator dropped his gaze. The security guard stepped forward. "Let's go." As he reached for her arm, her phone buzzed. A message lit up. "Confirmed. Noelle Bryant, presidential suite, 2 nights." Noelle held the screen up, quietly. "Still not showing?" The lobby fell silent. Then the concierge stepped forward and said the words no one expected. "She doesn't need a room key. She built the keys." The manager blinked. "What? What did you just say?" But Noelle was no longer looking at him. Her eyes were fixed on the brass nameplate beneath her late husband's portrait, once etched with Bryant and Hale, co-founders. Now, the Bryant part was gone. Only Hale remained. The symbolic erasure stung deeper than any insult. "I remember when this lobby was a hole in the ground," she said softly. "My husband laid the tile. I chose the chandelier." The manager chuckled nervously. "Miss, this is clearly some misunderstanding." "Is it?" she replied, pulling a slender black card from her wallet. It bore a silver crest. "Halcyon Legacy Circle, Founder Access." A gasp rippled through the guests nearby. The concierge stepped beside her. "Ma'am, if you'd like, I can personally escort you upstairs." But Noelle shook her head, then turned to the manager. "I'm not here to check in anymore. I'm here to check out what you've become." And with that, she walked toward the exit. "Noelle, wait!" the concierge called out, his voice cracking with something between respect and regret. But Noelle didn't stop. As she passed the front doors, the marble echoed beneath her heels. Guests stared. A woman in a red coat whispered, "Was that really her?" Behind her, the manager stood frozen, phone in hand. A voicemail from corporate was already playing. "Miss Bryant's visit is to be handled with full honors. Do not deviate." Too late. Outside, a winter breeze tugged at Noelle's coat. She paused at the steps and looked back. At the building she once dreamed would stand for dignity and excellence. Now it looked like glass over rot. A young bellhop rushed after her, eyes wide. "Ma'am, I didn't know. I'm sorry." She nodded. "You will." And then the concierge reappeared, holding something in his hand. The missing half of the nameplate. Bryant. He didn't say a word. He simply bowed and placed it in her hand. And in that silence, they finally saw her. That evening, a quiet press release was issued. The Halcyon regrets the incident involving co-founder Noelle Bryant. An internal review is underway. But Noelle didn't read it. She was already back in D.C., walking through the quiet halls of her nonprofit. A framed blueprint of the original Halcyon hung above her desk, both names still intact. A week later, the nameplate was restored to the hotel wall. No press, no ribbon cutting, just a silent correction. The young clerk who turned her away was quietly reassigned. The manager, replaced. But Noelle never asked for revenge, only remembrance. When a journalist asked if she'd return to Halcyon Boston, she simply said, "Buildings can be rebuilt, but dignity, that must be lived." And in that stillness, her voice carried further than any title. Because sometimes the strongest presence is the one that walks away. They erased my name, but they couldn't erase who I am. Thanks for watching this video. Noelle Bryant's quiet strength reminds us that real power doesn't always need a podium. It just needs presence. When dignity is denied, the way we respond defines us more than any title. If this story moved you, subscribe for more powerful tales like this. Drop a comment below. Have you ever witnessed quiet justice in action?